Here we have a quadratic equation, and to solve this quadratic equation you would be used to getting the quadratic on the left hand side and factorising it. So factorising is one technique we can use to solve a quadratic. In this case we would have 6 and 1 in the brackets, which means that the answer could be that x is minus 6 or minus 1. So that is solving the quadratic using factorisation. Today we're going to look at a different approach, which is called completing the square. So instead of getting the quadratic and factorising it, we're going to complete the square, and it will help us solve it. Completing the square also is useful to find maximums and minimums of this here quadratic expression. So completing the square really is dealing with these first two terms and writing them in a different way. If we looked at x plus 3 squared, so where did that come from? I'm just halving the 6 to get 3. That would give you, if you expand it out, the same as this here. They would be equal to each other. Or would they? Well, let's expand this out. Remember, x plus 3 squared is x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3. If we expand that, we would get x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. And that simplifies to x squared plus 6x plus 9. So no, they're not the same thing. But we could say that x squared plus 3x, x squared plus 6x is the same as x plus 3 squared, and then take off the 9. So subtract 9. And we can do this for any quadratic, but for the x squared term and the x term. We just need to know how did I jump from here to here, and then know to do this. So if we have, we're going to deal with just 1x squared. More than 1x squared will be at a higher level, so we'll always have to deal with 1x squared. This one here is 6x. I want to have the number inside the bracket half the size, because when I expand it, I'm going to get a 3x, which gives me 6x. So I need this number to be half the size of this one. So what you do is you half the x coefficient, and put it in the bracket. And that's always going to give you a number at the end. 3 times 3 is 9, so it's always going to be 9. It's going to be 9 too big. It's going to be this number squared too many. Let's have another go at that to see if we can follow that. Let's say we had this time x squared plus 10x. We can rewrite that as x plus, and then half the x coefficient, which is 5. What happened there? And then if we did that, if we expand that out, we know this would be too many. So we'd have x squared, then we'd have 5x and 5x, which is 10x. But then we'd have a 5 squared, which is 25, which isn't here. So you'd have to take away 25. Okay? So x squared plus 10x can be written as x plus 5 all squared, take away 25, which is 5 squared. And this technique we can use inside solving an equation. So let's look at solving an equation now, and let's put this next bit into your notes. We have to solve x squared plus 12x plus 15 equals 0. Now you can use factorising, you can use the quadratic formula. In fact, the quadratic formula comes from completing the square. However, a question may ask you to solve it by completing the square, in which case you'll have to use this method. So don't just go, I'll always factorise. They could specifically ask you to complete the square. So completing the square is dealing with these two terms here first of all, and rewriting them. We could rewrite them as x plus, and then half of this one, which is 6. And then we know that that's going to give x squared plus 6x plus 6x, which is the 12x. but it'll also give us plus a 6 squared. So we've got to take away that 6 squared, which is added on from the bracket. And then at the end, we've got this bit here just to add on. So plus 15 equals 0. We could simplify that first of all. X plus 6 squared. And then we've got the minus 6 squared. Now, what I should say with this one here is we're taking away the 6 squared. We're not getting minus 6. What we're definitely not doing is squaring the negative 6. We're taking away whatever 6 squared is. So this will be a negative number. So it'll be minus 36 plus your 15. And that gives minus 21. So how do we solve that? Well, what we can do is we can bring the 21 and we can add 21 to both sides and leave us with the 21 will be on the other side. And from there, if x plus 6 all squared gives 21, then by square rooting both sides, we could say that x plus 6 is equal to the square root of 21. Now this method needs a bit of caution. Some people maybe use it and lose some marks, and the reason for that is when you square root both sides, this answer could be a positive number or a negative number. There are two solutions, which is common with your quadratic equation, that there are two possible answers, and that's where it comes from. That's where the two answers come from when you're completing the square. Make sure you put a positive and a negative in front when you're square rooting the 21. That then leaves that 6 is equal to the square root of 21, positive or negative, take away 6. Or if you wanted to really write it out in one go, you'd write root 21 minus 6 or minus root 21 minus 6. We're going to do one more example, but before I do, I'm going to just generalize this. So it'll give you a formula, but I would probably just think of it the way I told you, but the formula will be good for you to see just generally what's going on. You are going to be able to, at the end of this, hopefully, be able to complete the square for something like this, where it's always 1x squared. There'll be a coefficient of x, which is in this case was 12, and there'll be some number at the end equal to 0. So what we do is we get x plus, and we always half the coefficient of x. So when you complete the square, that will always be the case. We then have to take away that number squared. So we had 12, we halved it to get 6, that's our b over 2. And then we took away b over 2 all squared. So take away, don't know what happened there, b divided by 2 all squared. And then that 15 bit was just sitting at the end, and it does, just don't worry about it until you start solving. So the plus c will just stay there. And that there is your general formula for changing the quadratic into it being complete, the square being completed. And then what you would do is bring this here over to the other side and go from there. Let's do one more example with harder numbers. So this time I'm going to solve x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals 0. So to do that, we get our first two terms, and we rewrite that as x plus, and then it's b over 2, so this number halved, so minus 7 divided by 2 squared, take away, and then this number over 2, so minus 7 over 2 squared plus 3 equals 0. Now when you get good at it, you might not write that line out. Quicker way, just there's a lot of signs going on there. So effectively what you've got is that. If you're adding a negative number, you're taking it away. And it's not good practice, so I'll not do it. But regardless if this is a positive or a negative number, because it's going to be squared, it'll always be positive. That will always be positive. But you'll always be taking away whatever that becomes. Okay, so this negative sign in here will not make any difference. But don't be lazy and forget it at the same time. So then we'd have, sorry, I forgot the squared there, x minus 7 over 2 squared. We'd work out what 7 over 2 squared is, and that gives you 49 over 4. So you'd have plus 3 take away the 49 over 4. And that gives you minus 37 over 4, which equals 0. You can then bring that to the other side. And from there, we can square root both sides. So if we square root both sides, we get x minus 7 over 2 equals. Now when you square root this here, you're going to get positive and a negative, remember? But when you square root a fraction, if you can remember your third work, you're square rooting, when you square root the whole thing, the rule of thirds is you're square rooting the top and you're square rooting the bottom. So when we square root 37 over 4, we get root 37 over 2, because we know the square root of 4 is 2. What's left to do then is to add 7 over 2 to both sides, so we end up with 7 over 2 plus or minus the square root of 37 over 2. And you can leave it like that. Other ways to write that would be x equals 7 plus root 37 over 2, or 7 minus root 37 over 2. And those answers might look very familiar to the quadratic formula, and that's because actually the quadratic formula is derived from completing the square.